Hey, what's up, guys? It's Layeth the Matt down. We're here. My lip is busted because I had surgery, so don't judge me on that.
Yo,
Let's
Matt,
talk.
have less energy in your introduction next time.
All right, guys, I'm hurt. I
I'll
can't
show you.
drink
I'm going to
from-
introduce the show next time. The guest is going to introduce the show.
No, you're not introducing shit.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh man, I'm hurting, but I'm still doing it. I'm still laying that mat down.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
that was better.
Fun
Good
weekend.
recovery.
Shut the fuck up. One weekend, WrestleMania and all that bullshit. Disappointing WrestleMania to me. How'd you guys feel? I mean, not completely. Not completely.
Yeah, I think overall, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do this going forward. I'm going to look at. I think I personally need to look at wrestling in a different way. And throughout this whole conversation, every time that I am going to speak about the match itself or the booking itself without bias towards what I wanted to happen, you're going to see my face look like this. And when I'm gonna make smarky judgments, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna see these come out. So I'm going to. Yeah,
For the
I'm
audio
going
listeners, he put on sunglasses.
I put on sunglasses. These are my smart glasses or my smart goggles. So you're gonna be seeing it from two different points of view for me.
Gosh, that's a good gimmick. I can't even hate this right now.
So, but I think overall, without the goggles on, overall, it fell short of being the biggest and most hyped up WrestleMania. And compared to the last couple years, I think it was not as good. So to have not too long of an introduction, I'm going to leave it at that for now until we get into more matches, and I'll pass off to Jim.
I kind of agree. I mean, there were some parts where, like, during the show, I turned to my friends, and my friends turned to me, and they're like, it's pretty good. Like, it's an overall pretty decent pay-per-view. And then, as it went on, like, I just didn't understand some of the things that they chose to do. Even as I was, like, trying to be like I was like, all right, if I'm the casual fan, what would I think right now? And I still, like you said, even as a casual fan, I think I'd be like, well, I'm glad the network exists, so I didn't spend $60 for that.
True.
Exactly.
True. That's a positive way of looking at it, I think.
Yeah. Matt?
Well, I thought there were great moments. Overall, the show was obviously not what I wanted. But we'll get into that when we get to WrestleMania. A show that was everything I wanted was NXT Takeover Dallas. Nice segue, Matt. And Charlie's doing the 10. I'm just gonna help the audio listeners. And Jim is doing the Nakamura point. Yes. Anyway,
Great. Thank you for pointing that out.
So yeah, I thought it was amazing. I was in pain because I had surgery on my mouth, and it brought my spirits up. So that was awesome. What do you guys think of it?
I'll let Jim go first. You should go first, Jim.
Gosh, I'm excited. I was supposed to work my side job at Buffalo, and I called off there, and I tried to find someone to cover my shift because I was like, oh, hell no. I can't not. I can't not watch this live. So I lost out on like $200. So I pretty much paid $200 to watch NXT.
Oh, man.
Takeover
Worth
Dallas.
it. So worth it.
It's worth it. I went over to my buddy Kevin's house, and we got deep dish pizza and just kind of sat back, and you can enjoy some good wrestling, some good smart wrestling and good booking when you watch NXT. So I really liked the show. I don't know if we're going to break it down match by match, but I'll kind of let Matt direct which matches we talk about. But overall, as a product, it could be the best takeover so far. If not, like, it's top 2 or top 3. But it was great. Everything they did was great. Even the decision to take the belt off Bailey, I thought was good. And the way they did it was good. They make Asuka look like a fucking badass. Like, you know what? You almost don't. You want to boo her because you love Bailey to death, but then a part of you's like, wait, Asuka's kind of really cool. So
yeah,
everything was awesome. Charlie, thoughts?
I agree with everything you just said, and it's hard to follow because all your comments were positive and all my comments were positive. So how many different ways can I say what you just said? But it was. I haven't watched as many NXT takeovers as you have, obviously, because you started watching it maybe a year or 2 years before I did. But it's personally the best takeover that I have ever seen. I think with every takeover that I watch, they keep raising the bar little by little, and this was like someone took that fucking bar and just hoisted it up there, like 4 levels. I felt, and this and it's gonna be hard to top. I'm gonna try to not compare every single takeover to this one, like going forward, but this was like a 10 out of 10, absolutely phenomenal. Like you said. You could the difference of how a poor decision in your mind doesn't kill in the programming was completely on display here. Like people losing but still look really good, and like in that alternate reality where you kind of buy into wrestling, you still see these individuals as credible threats, and then you could still take them seriously. When they go on to do whatever they will do next, or when there's rematches, you're like, okay, I'm ready for this.
I think that's exemplified 100% by Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, the cut was unintentional, and that added so much badassery to him and in that match. And so you're like, and the best way they did that thing was for Balor to beat him on like a crazy submission counter because Joe looked stunned, like what just happened? I was in control. Finn is always gonna look good because he's Finn, and so that match ends and you're like, all right, Finn beat him twice, but Joe is still like this Samoan death machine, like it's scary, you know? It was great.
Yeah, and like there's that small part of you that is a little disappointed because you want to see like there's that smart part of you. If I were to put on the glasses. There's like a part of you that wants Finn to lose so he can go on to Bullet Club. But if I could take these off for a second, like what things that Samoa Joe did, being shocked, like he was shocked completely up the rampway. Like he kept looking back at the ring and wondering like how the hell did that just happen? Like things like that completely like nip your smarkiness like right in the bud, so it can't grow. It can't grow into hatred. Or frustration, like some feelings I had after WrestleMania. I had feelings of frustration, but that was completely obliterated because of the way that the loser looks during the match and looks after the match. So, like, great job, honestly.
Okay, I have the card up so we can go through the matches. So Apollo Crews, he beat Elias Sampson in a dark match.
It did happen.
Yeah, it did happen.
Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't know that. That's great. Okay.
Yeah. Fuck Elias Sampson.
Wait, so I went for 3 for 3. Wait, hold on, time out. So I actually went 3 for 3. So all right, I'm back.
I need a gimmick. I need a podcast gimmick. Damn it.
I think you should have an audio gimmick.
You should be the soundboard guy.
Yeah, Charlie is the guy with the gimmick. Everybody can see. I have to come up with an audio gimmick.
I actually kind of want to give you my gimmick because of your insider dirt sheet smart pages. Your smart book.
What'd you call me earlier?
I said your team name. So your team name should be I'm a smarkass.
Oh my.
So maybe we'll transfer later, but for now.
Yeah.
Charlie said the best name for a wrestling fantasy team I've ever heard. The Nation of Penetration.
We are the Nation of Penetration.
I like it.
Oh god. So anyway, the card first match was American Alpha versus the Revival. I thought it was amazing. I love American Alpha. I love the revival. Um, I I thought I didn't know that they were. I was kind of sure American Alpha would win, but not really, because I thought they should win. Well, my heart was telling me they should win,
Yeah,
obviously.
I called it wrong. I thought the revival
hmm
was gonna win.
hmm Yeah, it was a back and forth match. Um, uh, Gable was doing his thing. Jason Jordan was suplexing everybody. At one point, Wilder crawled all the way under the ring. Just
Yes,
so he
that was
could
great. That
pull
was so
someone,
sneaky.
pull,
Uh-huh.
yeah, Jason Jordan off the apron.
That
I
was
thought
amazing.
that was, yeah, yeah. They're all four of them were just amazing. And then after American Alpha won, Jason Jordan was basically crying, which made me like him more for some reason.
Yep. I think my favorite part of the match was Jason Jordan. You know, when Jason Jordan. I mean, they have their roles perfectly fit for the hot tag, because Jason Jordan's hot tag is like scorching hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was his set. He does that thing where he basically does a spear in the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
So like the second one that happened, the camera wasn't behind Jason Jordan. It was just focused on Dasher, Dawson, whoever it was, like in the corner. And all of a sudden, like you can't even see Jason Jordan enter the picture, but all of a sudden he enters the picture like a fucking bullet, and he's like completely horizontal, and it hits that second spear. And that led right into the finish. I think that was my favorite moment.
Mm-hmm.
That match had some. Every time they wrestle, and I know they really like the revival because of their ring psychology. Like Triple H really likes the way that they cut the ring in half. They make the other tag team like you said, the hot tag. Part of that's because the revival does such a good job of keeping it to where Gable or whoever on their side of the ring, they try to act like they're in control, and you know the hot tag's coming, like the ring psychology of it, and every single time, like you said, even us who know the psychology of a match, every time I'm like, all right, here comes a hot tag, I know it's coming, but every time it happens, I'm like, yeah, whoa.
Yeah. They do the same thing for Enzo and Cass.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They make Enzo get his ass beat, and then he hot tags Cass.
But oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the difference is Gable is such a skilled wrestler that I feel like they should debatably start to change it, because Chad will always go in there and be amazing, and then he'll spend the better half of like 6 minutes getting his shit kicked in. And I feel like to highlight the fact that Gable's not like a slouch, they should change it up and just every once in a while have Jordan be the one get in trouble and Gable be the relaxed. But I mean, don't change if it's not broken, don't fix it. They're still learning. They're still in developmental. And just imagine how great they can be, you know.
It sucks to call it developmental, because it's like, but I know what you mean. And I think that's a really good point, because you don't want to seem like one guy's carrying the whole team. Also, like, this just popped into my head. Like, I can't remember the last time like I've seen a tag team match without a hot tag. And I know there's probably like a reason for it. Like every match has it, but I'm wondering like how a match would be without one. I don't know. That just popped into my head.
I mean, you think about it. Even like non-tag matches, the baby faces always have a comeback.
Yeah,
That's
true. That was just a random thought. We don't need to dive any deeper into that. But
no, not to dive deeper. I just like the idea, like you said. Like, at what point in time does it become too predictable? Where, all right, how many times can Jason and Jordan and Chad Gable go out there and do that exact same? Just changing the opponent, the exact same match before we're like, all right, we're not interested. So let's see how they change it up. Hopefully they make I think you need to have a credible opponent, keep the match fresh, where literally any of the two can pin any of the two. But the thing is, I think that's why team finishers are awesome, but they also kind of hurt it, because you know that if Jordan or Gable does something awesome and they go for the cover, you're like, well, it's not the end. They didn't hit the team finisher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe you throw in a couple of matches where they get a snake submission win or a snake, Jordan does some type of powerhouse win, or where they don't end it on the team finisher, and then that way maybe that diminishes the hot tag. I don't know.
I agree though. Like just keeping the person with the sunglasses on like off guard, And that, so, like, not having them predict every single move, so I agree. It would just be cool to see it, cool to see it done a different way.
I agree.
I think Dash and Dawson would be the people to do it, honestly, because they come up with new spots every single match I watch. They come up with new spots, so.
All right.
Overall, that was awesome, though.
Yeah.
Really happy for them.
Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin. I would say that was probably the worst match on the card, even though it was still a good match. Wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, though.
I think it was a bad pairing, but from a kid's perspective, it was probably cool, like big guy versus little guy. It just didn't allow Aries to show everything that he could do.
Yeah, I have no problem. I would agree. It's the worst of the best. But the matches were so good that if this is the worst match, then maybe it was an okay match,
Yeah.
I agree. This is my first Austin Aries experience, and I can't judge him because I've only seen him wrestle once. But I felt like based off of his hype, he's got more in him. So I would like to see him wrestle again very soon. I'm sure I could go on YouTube and watch some of his really good stuff. But it was just okay to me. I wasn't mad about it. I wasn't happy about it. I thought actually Corbin did a very good job of in-ring heel stuff.
Yeah.
So that made me like Corbin more. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
All right. I pretty much the same thing for me. Okay. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. I mean, we already know what you guys thought about it. Pretty much everyone had the same opinion. Match of the year. Insane. Amazing. Made everyone happy. I don't even know what else to say. It was perfect.
Call on me.
All right, Jim.
All right. I tell you this. I sat there in this basement, like you said, as a fan that knows everything or tries to know everything and reads the dirt sheets, and everybody told me how good this guy was. Everything I'd look up would be cool, and it's the fact that we brought up Aries. That dude made a debut, and it feels like, all right, you shrug your shoulders to it. We're talking about debuts, so. On the same show, two guys came on the show for the first time wrestling. Yep. One of them felt like a fly on the wall, and then the other one felt like you were watching a new fucking episode of Star Wars came out, and the hype was just so real, and you're like a Star Wars fan, and you're sitting there, and that's when, and his music was like when you sit there and it says, meh, and the Star Wars comes up and then it scrolls, and you're just sitting there like, let's go. This is it. I sat there and his music hit, and I was like, okay, his music's badass. The whole crowd is hype as shit going, Nakamura. Sami Zayn's sitting in the corner smiling because he knows it's such an insane moment. And the dude comes out, and he's in the strobe lights, and he's doing his whole metrosexual, not metrosexual, but his whole flamboyant, I'm a David Bowie mixed with Freddie Mercury mixed with the Lost Boy mixed with the Japanese guy gimmick of of just everything, and he's coming down to the ring, and his music is so epic with the violin and the drums, and he gets to the ring, and the best part is I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, this is special. When he looks at the camera and he's and he covers his mouth, wait, did I forget something? Wait, I forgot something. And he runs to the rope and he Freddie Mercury poses, and the lights go down and they spotlight him, and the crowd goes absolutely bonkers. It's before he even wrestled, if you're a first-time viewer, before he even wrestled, you look at that guy and you go, oh, okay, this guy must be the greatest thing in the world because they just they were chanting holy shit to the entrance, and think about when Triple H books that, like, the dude's like, you know, brand new, fresh to WTV. They had to have practiced that entrance, and to give that guy that moment, the spotlight moment where he Freddie Mercury's and all of that jazz, is just a big way to, like, say, like, dude, you're the real deal. Like, we don't do this for anybody, and we're going to do this for you. Before he even stepped in the ring, it felt like this was a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's, as excited as I am talking about it now, when I watched it, I was very close to being, like, in total bliss of a child, like, happy.
Yeah, my mom, like, thought he was cool, and so that's a good endorsement.
Were you watching it with her? You were watching it with her?
She was in the background because I was sick.
Oh, okay.
I was at her place.
Matt texted me the best thing, or in our group chat, as he's coming out, or right after he comes out, Matt texts the group and he says, that Nakamura entrance was fucking lit. And I was like, there's no other way to describe it.
That was a perfect, that's a perfect way to describe that entrance as lit.
Seriously. Yeah, it felt like watching, like, a real, like, superstar in his prime, like a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or something. Or Steph Curry.
It did. Yeah.
This is one of the matches that makes me believe what your coworker said, Matt, where he said, I feel like we're in the golden age of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, everyone wants to be in NXT from around the world. And this was one of the matches that showed what NXT is capable of. It shows how important every small little thing, like to Jim's point, how important your entrance is. Like, from the music to the lighting, to the way you walk down to the ring, like, you should invest a lot of time in your entrance and get it right, because it makes a huge difference. I don't think I've ever seen a step up enziguri done so well in all of wrestling. That was like the swiftest step up enziguri kick that I've ever seen. And that got lost in the plethora of amazing spots, the forearm smashing back and forth, which it didn't even, like, in most people were to do that spot, and most two people, you would think it would be, like, comical. Like, if the Miz did that spot with someone, it would be, like, comical, and this didn't feel one bit funny. It felt completely 100% authentic. And then the spot that literally blew my mind was the throw yourself through the bottom turnbuckle DDT, and Zayn getting kicked right into the face before he could ever make it through. Match of the year so far, by far. There's not many better things I can say about it that Jim did not already put into very good words.
Best match I've seen since Sasha Bailey won.
Yeah,
I would say that.
It was interesting for me, I'm sure for you guys too, because we don't really get to see too much of a strong style like that often, and it was the first time where every forearm they hit in that pocket, so it makes that loud noise. But then when and you're sitting there and you got that feeling like, I know they're making it look like they're hitting them, like, because it's a strong style match, and then when Nakamura's nose is bloody and he's like checking the blood from his nose, you know, at that point they, like, agreed upon before they went out there, like, all right, you're gonna hit me sometimes and I'm gonna hit you sometimes, and it's gonna fucking hurt, but when we walk backstage, like, it'll be worth it. And they just put it all on the line, and when they sacrifice the difference of, like, it's supposed to be a stunt show and they're getting physically hurt on purpose, then it's like, all right, man, that's respect, and it's cool.
It was the best thing all weekend by far. Best match by far, 100%.
The dude's name got chanted during the main event of WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't hear that either.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about that match?
It's
10.
insane. 10.
Insane. Insane.
It was insane. It was insane.
Oh,
We should highlight that Sammy is a big part of that too, and
Yeah.
and a cool, interesting fact is, I don't know if you've seen the meme, but Vince was backstage and watched the whole match. That whole match on the monitor. Vince McMahon, who claims he doesn't watch NXT matches, was backstage watching that match because they've invested big money into Nakamura, and I think he wanted to see just what he was getting when he bought the Japanese guy, you know?
The Japanese guy. I like referring to him as the Japanese guy.
Good lord.
Vince was
The
probably
wording is terrible.
If I could quote Vince, this is probably what he said. Those strikes are way too stiff for me. Keep him in NXT for 3 years. That's probably what he said. Keep him down here. It's way too stiff.
Hideo Itami was somewhere in a pile of shit from shitting his pants that he's about to get fired.
Oh god.
There's only room for one Japanese guy. One Japanese guy, one Japanese girl.
They should have a faction like Nakamura, Itami, and Asuka, and just run the show.
That would be cool.
And they should be run by Funaki and Taka Michinoku. They should be the new Kai and Tai.
Jesus Christ. Let's move on from this. Oh god. Asuka versus Bayley. I thought it was really good. Shocking ending. I thought Bayley was gonna win because I didn't really expect her to go up just yet. Like, I expect her to go up soon, but not this soon. What do you guys think?
I don't necessarily know if she'll go up. I would like her, if I can put these on for a second, I would like her to stay down and continue this rivalry. I think Asuka could like beat lots of men in a real fight. She just looks like an absolute Dragon Ball of fury, and I really like how that's her submission, because that looks like she looks like a legitimate fighter, and that looks like a legitimate submission. So I think that fits really well for her. The screaming during the match is like a little much and a little Japanese for me. But
calm down.
Like she just randomly screamed. I have the glasses on. I can say rude shit. Okay, I'm smart. She just does it's just like a lot of screaming. That's fine. If that's her gimmick, then that's okay. I just feel like it's like it's very anime, a little too anime for me. But I was okay with it. Like, I could take these off for a second. I like another example of like your smarky dreams are crushed, but you're like all of a sudden like, wait a second, let's take a step back here. That match was good. I'm okay with it. Kind of finish. Go ahead.
What do you think, Matt? What do you think?
I mean, I never wanted to see Bayley lose because she's my favorite. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But obviously, she had to lose eventually. So I was kind of happy to see her lose so she can move up and go to the main roster. At least that's what I'm hoping. And then get Sasha versus Bayley 3 for the women's championship.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked the match. Was great. Good stuff. Good ring psychology with Bayley being like, can she finally beat someone who could legitimately kill her inside the ring? Like, your Asuka's a killer, and the announcers do a good job of putting Asuka over as like this death machine woman, like that she's different than anybody Bayley's ever wrestled because she is a death machine, and this will be a new type of challenge. But to like Matt's point, and it's the honest truth. I'm not trying to be rude. I watched this with 2 other people, or a handful of people of my friends would text me too, and honestly, they'd text me and they'd be like, it's great that Asuka's great in the ring. I just can't get behind the fact that she's a Japanese woman that can't speak English. And unless you're I mean that's a thing though. Like, if that's true. Like, the casual fan wants their champion to be like a Bayley or a Banks or this character that they can somewhat find a relation to. And I think it's easy for us to be like, all right, Asuka's cool because we love good wrestling. But I think there's fans out there that will be hesitant to accept the fact that she's now leading that women's division because she can't bring promos to the table by herself. She kind of has to go off of her look, off of her perception, and off of her fear of she's a fighter. And I think some people don't like that, and that's okay that they don't like that. We don't mind it, but I think it could hurt. It could hurt a little bit if they try to lean on her too much. I don't know.
I mean, it's almost like a Kane, where it's just like a killing machine who doesn't talk. I mean, early Kane.
Yeah.
But that's been done before. Maybe she needs a mouthpiece.
Yeah, that would be great. That's actually a great call, Matt. I think if I could add something to your point, Jim, about them saying that she's nothing like Bayley's ever fought before. When they cut to did you see that earlier today scene that showed both of them? It was earlier today. They showed Bayley signing an autograph for a little kid and taking a picture with her, and then they went to earlier today versus Asuka, and she's kickboxing a man with pads. And it's like it was like completely. It's like completely two different ends of the spectrum, both from earlier today. Like they showed Bayley like fostering a relationship with a kid, and Asuka was just kicking the shit out of a man with pads on. So like I thought that was funny. I think a mouthpiece is a great call, but I mean, for me. I think people get over in Lucha Underground with subtitles. Like my boy Pentagon Jr. has subtitles. Those are vignettes. They're not really like backstage interviews. But I don't know. Maybe throw some subtitles on her. There's gotta be a way she could communicate.
That would be cool. Like, let her talk to these people in Japanese and subtitle the vignettes or something, because at least then you're like, I don't know if you saw this. After the Nakamura match, he did one of those WWE exclusive like post-match things, and they had a translator next to him. And the guy asked a question like, "How do you feel about being part of such a big moment?" Yada yada yada. It was special. The translator tells Nakamura in Japanese what he says. Then Nakamura starts to talk to the translator and tells the translator what he wants to say. Then the translator looks at the camera and goes, "You know, he's just really happy." And then Nakamura grabs his chest, pushed him out of the way, looked in the camera, and went, strong style. And then went like this. and it was better than anything Roman Reigns has done, and the dude can't speak English. And it's so there's ways around it. It's just, I think it's gonna be tough. They'll be tough to find a way for Asuka, since she has got no, like Charlie said, she's almost like an anime princess. We'll see.
But she'll learn English, I'm sure. Like she probably hasn't been in America that long. But then look at like a real fighter like Anderson Silva. Like he did. They could treat her like a real fighter that just happens.
That's actually a great point. That's actually a great point.
I think it's a legitimate concern though. But, yeah, there's ways.
But obviously, talking's more important in WWE than it is in UFC. But
that's true. Very important.
All right, so last match: Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. I wasn't that excited for this because we already saw it at London, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. Samoa Joe tossed Finn Balor into a person, killed him.
That was awesome. That was so awesome.
Joe bled, and it brought out the bloodlust in the crowd. So
that was tight.
Shows how a crowd of wrestling fans can be horrible people sometimes. But
yeah,
whatever.
Well, the best was that the whole time they're chanting like "fuck PG" or "let Joe bleed." Joe's like shaking his head like, "Yeah, let me bleed." Like, and I think that's part of him being like, the cuts underneath my eye. This is not gonna stop. We either gotta stop this match, or like I gotta power through this, because getting that cut to stop was not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that was so cool.
That was so cool. And I know you brought this up before, like selling it like it's an actual non-scripted fight. That was something that sold it, because the referees in MMA do that. They do the same thing. They pull the person aside and they have the gloves on and they wipe his face. So it was the same thing there. I didn't mind it at all. I thought the crowd was sipping that haterade before, because like the point I just said, and then like how I like to watch NXT, like I've said in the past, I'm okay with a slower match because it's like such a rush. Every match in NXT is like a thrill ride, so I'm like still catching my breath from Zayn and Nakamura, and I thought this slowed the match down to like a really good pace. So I'm just a fan of throwing a slower paced match in there, and whether it comes in the middle of the card or whether it comes at the end, like I felt like this gave it a decent pace, and so yeah, I was like fine. I was fine with everything. The ending was taken from. Have you guys seen WrestleMania 8's Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper?
No. Yeah, it was the same ending, right?
Same ending, but it was fine. Like I didn't care, because it was like Finn's last ditch effort ending, the only thing he could do. And in that Piper Hart match, which I recommend watching it. It's a Hart classic, honestly. Hart is bleeding everywhere everywhere. He's bleeding everywhere in that match, and that had the same element too. So and it's like that. It's not like they're close together at all. Like this is near WrestleMania 32, and that happened at WrestleMania 8. So you can repeat it and reuse it. There's no rule against that, and it had all those same elements as the Roddy Piper Bret Hart match. So I would rewatch that, and you can kind of see a little bit of the same. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I kind of thought their match in London, if I could put these on for a second, I thought their match at London was a little bit better, but not mad about it at all. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, man. It was good for Joe. Made Joe look good. Made Finn look good. I think maybe we'll see Joe up soon. Maybe before we thought we'd see Finn, but maybe we see Joe before we see Finn. Good ring psychology, like you said. It was nice and slow. I thought it was almost as thrilling as the Nakamura Zayn, because the element of the blood mixed with we all thought a new champion was gonna be crowned. So like the element of like, is he gonna beat him? Will he beat him? And then the blood and everything, I was like really excited. I really liked it.
Yeah, and the blood really made Joe look like a monster, and then also he composed himself. He kept himself very composed after bleeding, because obviously that wasn't planned.
Yeah,
I thought that was incredible.
Do you think it was planned? I'm gonna ask both you guys, because I don't think it was, and you might have a disagreement. I think that the spot where he threw him over the barricade and hit the guard, I think that was to buy Joe time with the referees, so that they could clean his face, because they threw him a towel, and then they looked at him while Finn was over the barricade. Do you think that was a planned spot, or do you think that was impromptu between the two of them because they needed to address the cut?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
That's a great question. I think it makes sense that it was planned because the cut wasn't planned. So it's like it's an audible to the cut. What did I just say? The cut wasn't planned, so that spot wasn't planned. It was like, okay, because the cut happened, we needed to figure something out. But then again, like I don't know. I didn't really see them calling much. It seemed like they were just kind of making things up, but I could be wrong. It might have just been very subtle. And I think they would have had to plan it if they're like gonna endanger another person, right?
Yeah, dude's gonna take a bump.
Yeah, dude's gonna take a bump.
And what else? I felt like it could have been planned, because then they showed the camera angle where Finn was like this.
Oh, did they? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he like rolled, his like face rose from behind the barricade. So I think it might have been planned, but it definitely bought Joe like 4 minutes with the ref alone for them to try to close it.
Yeah.
Overall, awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead,
No. I was just gonna say that this was like a very hard pay-per-view to tweet while watching, because you didn't want to look away.
Yes.
I was trying to live tweet, and I was like, fuck, what did I just miss? But it was like nothing too big, thank God. But yeah.
The last thing I want to add about TakeOver is I used to work at a school in Shanahan, and the PE teacher I worked with there was like a casual wrestling fan. And so he texted me like, "What are you doing for Mania?" And I told him I was watching at my buddy's house. And he's like, "Oh man, I was gonna ask you to watch it." And I was like, "Dude, take my information, download it on your PS4, and just log in as me because I'm gonna be logged in at my buddy's house." But I go, "Hey, you should watch NXT tonight if you can." He's like, "Yeah, that's cool. My wife's out with her friends. I'm gonna watch it." So he watches NXT for the first time, not knowing anything, and he's texting me the whole time. And after the show and during the matches, he's like, "Dude, what really make me want to like wrestling again is the crowd atmosphere." He goes, "I've never seen a crowd energize a building like this." He's like, "Is every NXT match like this?" I go, "Yeah, pretty much." He goes, "What days is this on?" I'm like, "Wednesdays." "How often do they do pay-per-views?" "Every 2.5 months or so." And he's like, "Wow." Yeah, he was sold. And then he watched WrestleMania, and after the Shane match, he texts me, he goes, "So is Raw going to keep sucking? Looks like I'm NXT bound." And then I was like, "Yeah, probably." But, I mean, how cool is it that after one viewing, that just shows you, like, he used to watch, or he turns into Raw, and he's like, "Raw's doo-doo. He's booty." And then he's like, aside from the New Day, he really likes the New Day. He's like, aside from New Day and a couple other things, Raw is horrible. And I'm like, you could say that as a casual fan, I guess. And he loved NXT so much that he was like, "I want to know what days of the week this is on." That's awesome.
That's good to know.
This is cool.
It's so perfect. Like, it's so perfect. They just have the perfect formula, and I love right. So they have that intimate venue, and that's like such a like they could sell out bigger places, but they don't, and that's smart because it keeps that brand, that indie feel brand, that developmental brand of NXT. So it's like I kind of want them to like maybe see him at like a really huge arena, but then I really don't because like the crowds are just so much more fired up in that intimate like scenario, and that's just all about what NXT is. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully more people get into it and see it and less people see the main roster. I'm just kidding. So we'll move on to WrestleMania. First match, Kalisto versus Ryback. Ryback actually wasn't terrible. I thought he did an alright job. They performed in front of probably 100 people. A venue that seats 100,000. So
Yeah.
for them, there's a WrestleMania moment. Kalisto won. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say about this match.
Who do you want to go, Jim, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, hold on. Let me Charlie it really quick. Just to be really quick and swift, I don't think a belt should ever be defended on a pre-show. The fact that on the main show there's it really diminishes the belt when there's like Matt said, 100 people in the venue, and you're talking about a champion on the main wrestling company in the world defends a championship, and it's meant to feel like it's a joke. So I mean, they did a lot of stuff right, but I think all championship defenses should be built up better as something cool, and to defend it in that way was shitty to Kalisto and kind of shitty to Ryback. So whatever. My smarkiness says that match was booty, but it was alright.
I'm going to respectfully counter your smarkiness, and although this is the only reason, because I think that the only thing I would personally, I'm going to put my sunglasses on, the only thing that I would personally replace with the United States Championship match is the Battle Royal. But then, if you have the Battle Royal too early, throughout all the pre-show matches, all three of them, no one was there, like you said. So if you're going to put the United States Championship match third on the pre-show, but then there's still not enough people, and then if you're going to try to replace it with something, the only thing on the main roster card I would replace it with would probably be the Battle Royal. But if you're trying to help Baron Corbin out, which if I love that. I love that he won. Then he doesn't get. Then no one is watching him win the battle royal. So I think I would still rather have the battle royal on the pre-show, but it's like I wouldn't want to put the tag teams on there. I wouldn't want to put Styles Jericho. I just think like the card was just so crowded that the United States kind of had to take a fall, and I thought it was still a good match. It's just that no one saw it.
And honestly, no one cares about Ryback and Kalisto, and if they were on the regular show, people still not care about them.
That's I mean, ahead, you could. I mean, people. You're
people care
right.
about Kalisto, I guess.
But not even that. It's just like people care about the way that you book things, and people could care about them maybe, but the way that they get treated, like you said, makes you like whatever. But like Charlie said too, it was a good point about the Battle Royal because they have a tendency to right after a high match, they'll throw a low match in to bring the crowd down before another high match, and that Battle Royal came in right after the Shane Taker, and I think that was a good way to bring the crowd back to a normalized rate after that high intensity match. But I don't see I think that would have happened too with Kalisto Ryback. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, what do you want to sacrifice? Do you want to sacrifice Kalisto and a belt, or potentially helping Baron Corbin become a legitimate threat on the main roster?
You're right. That's a great comment for it. Good job.
Corbin has way more potential than Kalisto or Ryback.
Yeah.
Honestly, to keep my glasses on, Ryback is up in my power rankings. Ryback is up in my power rankings.
He had a good match.
He's climbing the chart to my power rankings. I'm okay with what he's doing. I'm completely okay with it.
I'm okay with it as well. I'm not gonna say I'm happy with it, but I'm okay. Speaking of high octane, exciting matches, the next match was Team Total Divas versus Team Bad Blonde. All right, I had some issues with this match.
Matt is. I'm gonna let you go on your rant, but I just love Matt's obsession with just like horrible reality TV. So I'll let you go.
All right, so it was Team Total Divas versus Team Bad Blonde. You would think Team Bad Blonde wouldn't have anyone from Total Divas, but they had two people from Total Divas, Naomi and Summer Rae. And Alicia Fox isn't even, at least from what I've seen, she's not a main character on Total Divas. She just like shows up from time to time to like make fun of Natty for like peeing her pants and stuff. And so, what is the point? Like, the rest of them are full time. I guess because Nikki Bella is injured, they had to put Alicia Fox on Team Total Divas. But they should have put Summer Rae on Team Total Divas, or maybe like. And also, was JoJo the ring announcer because she's also was on Total Divas?
I'm sitting next to Matt. Well, I'm sitting next to Matt and his girlfriend while I'm watching this match, and I can't even focus on the match because Matt is just complaining about how the rosters of each team should be
different. Doesn't make any sense.
Because of the show Total Divas.
And is Emma even blonde? I don't think Emma's blonde. Oh, yeah, she's blonde. Never mind. Okay.
You know, I kind of agree with Matt. And how pissed off would you be when you're those girls and you're like, we really want to wrestle, and then the other three girls who have been there for like 4 months are in the fucking 2 matches before the main event when like half those women in that Total Divas match have been there for like 8 years. And you're sitting there like, dude, these three are getting these quote-unquote Divas Revolution, and Vince McMahon is making me wrestle a match called Total Divas versus Bad and Blonde.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that on a night when they bring back the Women's Championship, they have a team called Team Total Divas.
Yeah.
And then they have a glorified cat fight.
Stupid.
That's what it was.
It was so fucking terrible. And
I only have 2 comments. Lana looked great in her ring attire, if you want to call it that. And
it was lingerie, but yeah.
I think this is a really good example of they should possibly introduce women's tag team titles.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna wait.
They have so many
Dude,
divas.
Charlie, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
They need it.
There's so many of them. And they have nothing to do. You could do a tournament with like all those teams. I mean, there's other divas on the roster that weren't in the match.
And crown
right?
the first ever women's tag team champions.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could put Cameron on there.
Cool.
Right. The matches don't have to be good, but they make them mean more.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I love that idea, and I think we will see that happen since they're trying to be equal with the men.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, shout out to Alicia Fox. They number like 7 for me. Her team won. Brie Bella put the yes lock on somebody. I don't remember.
It was Naomi.
See, Naomi's my favorite person from Total Divas, and she wasn't even on Team Total Divas.
You know what the funny thing is, because she is cool on Total Divas, and you know what else? Just to kind of counter on your point, somebody posted, this is the funniest post ever. Ready for this? On that forum I go to, it says, "Is it me, or are the Usos the most charismatic and funny as hell characters on every WWE program outside of Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views?"
Yeah,
and it's so true. Like they're so funny and charismatic on Ride Along or every other show, and then on the actual show they're like horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like whenever I see Naomi and I forget it whether it's Jimmy or Jey Uso, but yeah,
Jay,
I'm just like hashtag relationship goals. Like I want that in my life. Like they're the perfect couple.
Yeah, and then they're like on the show, you like neither of them do anything for you, but they're great on other things.
Yeah.
All they do is dab and shout "Uso." That's all they do on programming, and then they'll super kick like way too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we can talk about all the super kicks. I talked to Charlie about this, but anyway, yeah, they need a. Oh yeah. My prediction for if they do a women's tag team championship, my prediction for the first holders is the Funkadactyls.
Wow. bring back the Funkadactyls.
Mm-hmm.
Funk is on a roll.
Where was Cameron in this match? Like why was it? You know, Emma should not have been in it. Cameron should have been on Team Bad Blonde.
Let's move on. We're spending way too much time on this match.
Well, just skip Usos Dudley's. Skip. Maybe we should just talk about
one thing about Usos. They super kick too much. The super kick's my favorite move. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler. They make it look weak because they do it all the fucking time, and no one wins by it. It's annoying. So fuck them. But anyway, I love them though, as people, not as wrestlers.
Not to be a dick, but they won that match on WrestleMania with a super kick.
Oh yeah. Whatever.
But it is overdone.
Yeah, they did win with the super kick. Whatever.
They overdo it.
They overdo it.
Okay, Intercontinental title ladder match. Did anyone predict Zack Ryder winning this in the world?
No.
Mm-mm. That was probably my favorite moment of the night.
Zack Ryder has zero fair.
Yeah, besides the Shane McMahon dive off the cage, that was my favorite moment. It was the least expected moment, for sure.
Do you think it was a couple of my buddies who are average fans at the WrestleMania party thought it was the best match of the night?
I thought it was the second best behind the Divas match. I mean, not Divas, women's match.
I would say third. I would say third, and I would say this is one of those times where let me put my glasses on first. I loved the creative spots. Ziggler's tribute to HBK. Zayn reverse T-boning Kevin Owens at the end, and Kevin Owens selling the hell out of it and like melting into the ladder. I think Jim just got way too excited when I said that. Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
He stayed in that ladder for like 8 minutes.
Yeah. Stardust. Shout out to Stardust. I love Stardust. Stardust tribute to Dusty with the polka dot ladder and the polka dot costume.
Yeah.
Sin Cara didn't mess up. That's a positive for him. And then if I could, one last marking comment. I thought it was better than the year before's Intercontinental ladder match, and, except for the spot. I love the spot where Luke Harper powerbombed Dean Ambrose 2 years ago through the ladder.
That was great.
That was great. And then if I could throw my glasses off for a second and say that this is an ending where I was like so happy for Zack Ryder, and I loved it. So
yeah,
no one predicted it.
Oh yeah. Also, I like the Miz's like golden cape thingy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I really thought he was gonna fall off the ladder with the belt at the end. Great selling job. To hold it but not like put pressure on it so it snaps, and then he got pushed, and good for Zach. I mean, Zach flounders. He flounders in what I like to call the superstar region, where you just wrestle on WWE superstars and like nothing else. Like Zach has the hype bros, so his scenario was a little bit better than like a Sandow, a Fandango, a Swagger. Those guys do nothing. So shout out to Zach for sticking with this road and getting his due, at least for a day. Spoiler alert. Jim, go ahead.
I agree, man. I'm not going to say too much because you summed it up really well. Every spot was good. A lot of good wrestling involved. High drama. Sin Cara had some awesome spots. Everybody played their gimmick in this match, like, to the T. And when you really do look at it, Owens and Zayn don't need a belt to have a special feud.
Yes, great point.
Ziggler has been there and done that. Miz has been there and done that as far as have his moment. And Cody's been there and done that in the business. So I think the way that they probably kind of looked at it was like you said, let's reward the guy that works every house show, every NXT taping. Let's reward the guy that's been with us for 10 years. Even though, like you said, spoiler alert, his moment is a short moment, it's still a moment. That's a big show.
Yeah.
And in front of all those people in the biggest show ever, he wins the belt. And it was good because now it legitimizes, like, it gives him credibility as a wrestler.
Yeah.
It acknowledges the fact that the fans like him. And then, to boot, since he's so beloved, what happened on Monday makes, spoiler alert, makes Miz's heel run, which he's doing so damn well. It makes Miz even more of like a, I hate that guy, because Zach is such a beloved person, and you were so happy for him. So, like, that whole match was done awesome.
Yes. Okay. Next.
Wait a second. I have 2 more points, but I feel like they're good points and worthy of our time. It's almost like you said
that.
Just to your point, Jim. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Zayn and Owens can have so much history and built up tension. They don't need a belt to have a really good rivalry. So is having a belt though becoming like a bad, like almost like can people be too good at what they do to outgrow a belt? Is my question. Because in this sense, I feel like the Zayn and Owens rivalry has literally outgrown a belt. So although the title means something because it boosts Zack Ryder's level, it's like almost like, and this is like Bray Wyatt's a perfect case of this. Like, he never wrestles for titles because he's so over without it. So it's like
it depends on the person, I think.
It depends on the person, but it's like, don't you want to get that title? So are you a victim? Are you a victim of your own success because you're doing so well? They'll take you out of a title feud because you don't need it.
Matt, I'll let you answer first.
I mean, it just depends on the person. Like, someone like Bray Wyatt doesn't need a belt because he doesn't care about belt. He just cares about destroying the world and causing mayhem and stuff. But like someone like Roman Reigns, he will always need a belt because without a belt, he's really nothing. He's just some guy who is just around.
Yeah, I just think it devalues the belt a little bit, I guess, because it's like, you should be the top guy. If you're the top guy, you should have the belt, right? But if you're the top guy, you don't need the belt.
It depends on the
I don't know.
The belt too. Like the Intercontinental belt, people will outgrow that. But I don't think anyone outgrows the World Heavyweight Championship belt.
Yeah.
The point of the Intercontinental belt is to be outgrown. It's for like the up and comers.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here's the best thing, and you are both right, but I agree with Charlie that here's how they hit it right with this. The belt should be Bray Wyatt should want the belt. I think they do that wrong in the sense like Bray should be like, if I have the belt, that means more people listen to me and my message, and I'm also an ass kicker, so I want the belt. I think everybody should want the belt, but here is how they did both on Raw. This is why I was really impressed. When they came out saying, I want to be number one contender, and Jericho came out, and then Owens came out, and it's like Owens has never been in the company and not wanted a belt since NXT, since WWE. He comes out and he's like, I want that now. And then Zayn comes, then Zayn comes out and goes, no, I deserve it. And then here's where it intertwines. The hatred for the two of them is almost like they can't even be within 10 feet of each other without murdering each other. Their hatred for the two of them is so strong that it outweighs the fact that they're going to forego and be like, all right, give somebody else a shot because I need to kill this guy. But at the same time, they had them both go out there for a reason because it showed both of these guys want to be champion, and then their personal conflicts cost them the opportunity, but both of them went out there when they said, who wants a title shot, and that means a lot.
Yeah, that's a great point. It showed that Kevin Owens and Zayn, like their hatred and their belt, it's not 1 and 2, it's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
It's 1A, and to boot, like that's a big moment when Roman Reigns goes, who's going to come take this from me? And WWE's got faith enough to throw out AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, a legend, Owens, up-and-comer, and Zayn, the newest guy on the squad. Shows like a lot of faith in those young cats to be like, here's our new main event scene, boys. Notice how, dude, where was Dean Ambrose last night? He had the night off.
Yeah.
He took the night off. And
we'll get to Dean as... I don't know what they're doing with him.
And he took the night off, so it's like, whoa, those 5 guys that you put out there, that's a main event scene. That's how it was in the Attitude Era. Everybody had personal feuds, but they all won the belt at different times, and they all took it off each other. Fucking Triple H would take it off Angle would take it off Mankind would take it off Rock, Austin would take it off Undertaker, and all of these different people, even though Austin was always the favorite, like Roman's always going to be the favorite, all 6 of them you felt like, okay, he could be champ. Okay, he could win because he's good. And that's what they need to build.
Yes, I think to put my glasses on for one very quick second, I'll make my other one shorter. One that's a great point, Jim. I agree with that. One thing that they could do to make those ladder matches a little bit better is take a page out of Lucha Underground's book and not have just the people in the ring doing something. Have like a background noise of people fighting on the outside as well and in the ring, because it's like everyone kind of takes their turn and then everyone's like taking a siesta on the outside. And Aztec Warfare did that perfectly because you saw. Like we said, you saw Jack Evans falling down a flight of stairs in the background, and we caught that, and we caught what was going on in the ring. So, like, I think they need to do a little bit more of that to make it a little bit better.
Matt, what are your thoughts on? I know, like, we're absolutely killing the show, like, doing a great job because it's fun. What are your thoughts on just, like, talking about the highlights of Mania and then talking about the Raw after? Because we could talk about everybody's highlights and favorite moments, but that Raw after, I want to dig my teeth into a little more than I do WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go through the matches and much quicker this time, and then we'll get to Raw.
I'm gonna make one non-smarky comment and then one smarky comment. Okay. You need to chill out.
It's just hard to get you guys to move on.
All right, I agree. All right,
but I'm not hungry this time, so
it's the Ultimate Warrior. My passion is fucking passion.
Anyway, Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. Why did Chris Jericho win? I don't get the point.
Because of Monday.
Because of Monday.
I guess so. Yeah.
But at the time, I was pissed off. I was livid.
I was pissed as well. Pissed.
I thought the match was pretty good too.
Wait, Wait, their Fastlane match I thought was better than this one.
It was all right. League of
That's the other
Nations.
thing I say.
League of Nations versus New Day. New Day's entrance was amazing. It collided two things I love from my childhood, wrestling and Dragon Ball Z, so I was extremely happy. They came out of a big box of cereal. It was just great. And then the match, I don't know, the match was kind of boring and pointless. But then they had the 3 cameos from Mick Foley, HBK, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, so that was amazing. What were your guys' thoughts?
Given the New Day, I agree with everything you said. Entrance was amazing. They're amazing. Match boring, but giving them the rub of the 3 legends that were in the ring was Vince's way of saying thank you for the past year. You guys have elevated my show. You guys get the rub with Stone Cold and Heartbreak Kid and Mankind, and it was cool watching Mick Foley on there because I was like, dude, I just saw him 4 feet away 3 years ago. Yeah. So that was cool. It was awesome. I liked it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it was. It was a rub. So well put. Hilarious moment. One of the highlights of just hearing Austin's music and having him walk out. I'm so amazed by how Austin is able to catch the 3rd beer with the other 2 beers in his hand. He does it every time, and it's so perfect.
Yeah.
That's just a small detail. I know for a fact that the Saiyan armor was Xavier Woods' idea. Xavier Woods is combining every single nerdy interest that I have, and he's combining it all onto one platform, and all onto the big. He's combining gaming. He's that would be anime. I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Z growing up, not much, and wrestling, and he combined it all into one spectacular entrance. The best entrance I have ever seen in a long time. The side of the Bootios. I don't know if you saw, Jim. I have a picture. The side
you sent it, and it's the greatest thing ever.
How great is that? You know for a fact that happened on a 3-hour car ride to Xavier Woods and Big E and Kofi Kingston thought of that whole thing and planned it out on a 3-hour car ride on a notepad. They're creative geniuses. I love everything they're doing.
Yes. Dragon Ball Z was my favorite show growing up, so that was amazing for me.
I couldn't believe it.
All right,
Matt, why did Xavier have a tail? What was that?
Because Saiyans are born with tails, and if they see the moonlight, they turn into giant gorillas. But if you cut off their tail, they won't turn into gorillas anymore.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. What's his name? Wade Keller, who does Pro Wrestling Torch. I think he tweeted something, and the older people who watch wrestling didn't understand. They didn't understand what the hell that getup was, and it clicked immediately with me. And it's it was the perfect nerdgasm, if I could say. It was all of the nerdy things that a gamer and an anime fan like myself love. Yeah. A lot of older people were thrown off by it. Had no clue.
Yeah. It was great. But for some reason, older people still like them, even though they don't get any of their references.
That's true.
They quote rap songs all the time, and
90s rap, rap we grew up on. Rap we grew up on.
My mom loves the New Day, and she doesn't get any of their references. It's great. Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. I was expecting this to be the match of the night. Could not be more disappointed. I'm looking. This match was only 13 minutes long. No kickouts. It was. I don't know. I think they wasted what could have been a really great match. I was very disappointed with this one. He's got the sunglasses on. What do you got to say, Charlie?
I love your point about it only going 13 minutes long. There is I could sit here and list off countless times that we could shave off. Let's shave off 10 minutes of Lita speaking at the table and add 10 more minutes, please, and add 10 more minutes to this match.
Yeah.
I think that they did the same thing that Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper did at their Extreme Rules street fight in Rosemont. They put they made a chair pile in the middle of the ring. The barbed wire bat was not used. This is WrestleMania, people. Can we use the barbed wire bat a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you can take that, Brock. Seriously.
Don't tease stuff if you're not gonna do it.
I can understand now. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like when Bubba Ray Dudley tried to light a table on fire and then didn't do it.
Right, and then everyone was pissed, but he was like, yeah. So, but I can understand not using the chainsaw. Like, this isn't CZW, but they could. I just felt like they could have done so much more. Like it could. Yeah. I could have had a better match with 2 action figures, one of Dean Ambrose and one of Brock Lesnar. Honestly.
Oh god. And why would he not kick out of that 5? It's WrestleMania, and why would Dean not win? It was just stupid.
I think everybody was tweeting their disappointment to that match, and JR actually tweeted a good point. He said, to the credit of WWE, Lesnar suplexed him 14 times, F5'd him onto a pile of chairs, and so they did try to make it look like Brock had to go above and beyond to kill him, to beat him, but like you said, Matt, we've all seen that angle before. Give us something to get excited about. I think it could have been lit way better than it was, and we've seen better from both men.
Yeah, I feel like Brock was doing the same stuff he's been doing. It wasn't anything exciting.
I mean, I'm okay with Lesnar winning. I said it on this podcast before that I was okay with Lesnar winning.
I'm okay with him winning too. If I don't feel like it looked like he had to work that hard to win though. Like they had set it up like he was gonna have to do some extreme things to put Dean Ambrose down, but he just did his normal stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He didn't pull anything that wasn't already in Lesnar's playbook. Like he didn't dig. He could suplex Dean Ambrose 24 more times and not break a sweat. Like he didn't really dig down deep to do something like out of the box. I just thought the match could have been so much better.
Yeah, no one went through a table. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, like all smarkiness aside, it could have just been better.
Lesnar usually bleeds too, and he didn't bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at the last man standing match between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Like that was so much better.
At the Rumble. Yep.
All right, we're gonna move on. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha. I thought this was match of the night. The network cut out for me and Charlie though, so we didn't see the whole thing. I need to rewatch it, but from what I saw, it was amazing. Sasha doing the suicide dive flip thing. Charlotte doing the moonsault off the top rope to the outside.
Yeah.
Becky doing a plancha onto Ric Flair.
Yes. We saw that part. I'm glad we saw that.
Yeah. Sasha came out with Snoop Dogg. I was hoping Snoop Dogg would stick around and neutralize Ric Flair, but he didn't.
I like that.
But yeah, I thought it was a great match. And I'm not mad that Charlotte won. I thought she was going to win anyway. Yep. I'd rather see Sasha winning in a one-on-one anyway. So.
Yep. I'm not mad at that either. The network did cut out for us. I need to rewatch it as well. And women's wrestling has arrived. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it up to Jim.
Yeah, I was match of the night. That moonsault was like a thing of beauty. And the writing was awesome. It made Sasha look strong because Rick cheated. So and Becky, poor Becky's always the one that's taking the pinfall or the submission. But the girl still looked strong, and it was the match of the night. It had all the excitement, and from a fan's perspective, I'll take my glasses off. When Sasha Banks lost, I was genuinely sad. I put my hands over my head. I leaned back on the couch, and my friend KP took a picture of me and put the Jordan face over my face, and the crying Jordan face over my face because I was genuinely. I don't really mark out to a lot of people in the WWE, but she's one of the few people that I don't care if it makes storyline sense or not. Please let her win, and he didn't win.
I saw that Jordan crying face.
Yes, it was very funny. But I mean, she's gonna win eventually.
Yeah, they're gonna give her the slow burn, and then the rub for her because they know the crowd wants her to win, so they'll save it.
Oh yeah, I loved her tights too. Even though she has a nice butt, I was happy she was in pants because they're like Eddie Guerrero's pants, and she did the frog splash, which was amazing. And I was just,
that was great.
Mm-hmm. Even though she botched it a little bit and hit Charlotte's legs, but whatever.
Yeah, it looked like that hurt her a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they were all great. It was the best match. Let's move on to
Shane.
Undertaker Shane. I thought this is the longest match in the card. It was 30 minutes. And I feel like it was just a one-spot match. Shane jumping off the top of the cage, which was amazing, but we didn't need 30 minutes for that.
I think what's going through his mind was, I'm going to save WrestleMania. And I think he tried to save WrestleMania, and by God, I give him all the credit in the world for doing that.
He's insane.
You can't get a better spot in a Hell in a Cell. I mean, Mankind was the first to do it, and he got thrown off of it. So I guess I'll give Mankind the edge a little bit, but that was like right up there with it because it was the same damn spot. I think Shane tried to save WrestleMania, and hats off to him. I'm glad he's okay. It was awesome. It was great.
I liked it a lot. The match was good. It had good suspense. Shane looked strong. Undertaker looked like he genuinely was in disbelief at some of the lengths. I'll put on the Charlie glasses for a minute. I honestly thought when Shane jumped off and hit the table and Taker gave him the look of like, wow, you'll go to any length to try to beat me. I thought what was going to happen, and I was really hoping for it, was that Taker was going to have like this epiphany of respect, and Vince was going to come down to the ring and be like, it's all over, like pin the man. And I thought when Taker put him on his shoulder and carried him to the ring, I thought Taker was going to lay down and put Shane's hand over Taker's body just to give the company to Shane to be like, dude, the respect I've gained for you, you would debatably commit suicide to control this company. That I thought like Vince would come down and be like, it's over now, yeah, Undertaker, you're my creation. And then Undertaker would look at Vince, give him this thing, and then lay down and put Shane over him, and then the crowd would mark out for everybody. But I liked the way that it ended, I guess.
That's not a bad fantasy booking though. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
But overall good.
Let's go through the last three pretty quickly so we can get to Raw. Baron Corbin won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I was very happy for Corbin. He's very happy. Like, I'm slowly warming up to him. Well, I have been for a while. Since we saw him live in Chicago, I've been warming up to him. And also the ridiculous guest spots. DDP came in to, I guess, advertise his yoga. Tatanka came in to be a Native American stereotype once again, and Shaq, I don't know why Shaq wanted to do that.
This is what Shaq came out to.
Oh, God. I didn't notice this. I was just too shocked that Shaq was coming out. They double chokeslam Kane. That was silly. And, yeah, Shaq and the Big Show got eliminated at the same time, didn't they?
Shaq made Big Show look small.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to say about this?
I could see them doing a pre-show match next year, Big Show versus Shaq or something like that.
Oh.
Want to know why? It's in Orlando.
Okay.
Mania's in Orlando, and don't be surprised if Shaq would be like the celebrity inductee to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah. I think when Shaq came out, I said, this is sports entertainment, and when Corbin won, I said, this is wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, we can leave it at that. That's
I'm glad Corbin won, though. That was great.
All right, the longest match on the card, it was actually not Undertaker versus Shane, it was The Rock versus Eric Rowan. Just kidding. Yeah, The Rock defeated Eric Rowan in 6 seconds.
I'm putting on my fucking glasses.
Eric Rowan is officially a jabroni. Um, see, The Rock verbally abused Bray Wyatt, which is what he does. So.
Look, JR Jim Ross, I love the guy. He's the best ever. But he had a tweet defending the way the Wyatts looked in this match. I'm sorry. I'm trying to suspend my disbelief, but whether a story is scripted or it's real, the Wyatts got their ass whooped, and I thought they looked bad. And
yeah, they did look bad.
And I would have loved to see maybe Bray face The Rock and maybe go 6-7 minutes and actually look like decent. And then maybe
he's still injured though.
I don't know. See, I don't know what's the deal with that, I guess. But what about like a 2-on-1 handicap, Rowan versus Strowman? Cena comes in to make the save, and then The Rock rock bottoms Rowan like after like 6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
The worst part was when Rock was like, "You got the charisma," and everybody goes nuts. You got the what it takes. Everybody goes nuts. Like he's telling, like he's like Bray, you got it all, and then he's like, now watch me shit all over it. Jabroni. And so it was.
Bray laid down for the people's elbow after a spine buster. That was really stupid.
I'm sorry, they look like dog shit. They look like I don't know how else to say it.
I think Vince is like, oh, you're gonna get the Rock rub, Bray. You're gonna get the Rock segment. Hey, how do you like that? And I think Bray would rather probably be like, can I get the championship match segment? Can I get like the Rock match segment, not the Rock, like make fun of me segment. But overall, it was bad. I do think though that the Wyatts could have a good future. We'll see what they do. They might be faces now. Who knows?
And John Cena's back. So.
I marked out. I missed him, and I hate him, and I missed him. I marked out.
Yeah, I was happy to see him.
I like this music.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Last match. Roman Reigns versus Triple H. This was 27 minutes of boredom for me. I barely paid attention. Roman won. Triple H had a creepy intro, and Stephanie McMahon was, I don't know, insane.
She looked like she was from the Outworld from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Those monsters he was coming out with looked like they were from Outworld. I don't know. I didn't like it.
It was really nothing. It was so lackluster for a WrestleMania main event. I liked Stephanie getting speared. That was okay. But it was like really nothing special, and it just left me very frustrated and very. It just left a sour taste in my mouth. Deflated me, took all the wind out of me. So I don't really have much to say.
I'm gonna not, but I could talk 30 minutes about this match, and it's the whole Stephanie thing was like the most pathetic last ditch effort to try to shit on the fans one more time to try to get Triple H booed, and she comes out and she says the same promo she's cut for the past month. You're all idiots. My husband's not an idiot, and you are, and you'll never be where my husband is, idiots. And then the whole crowd still chants for him. Yeah. Roman comes out. They turn the mics down. This one kid posted the video. You can actually hear the crowd mics get turned down when he comes out. It's on Reddit. And they chanted other wrestlers' names. They chanted Roman sucks in the main event. And I think it was maybe Vince is being like, all right, listen, we're committed to this storyline. And they went through with it. And at the time, I talked to my dad after, because my dad knows I'm a big fan, and I said, you know what, Dad? They went through with it, and everybody made them look stupid, and everybody booed it. But if Monday night doesn't go well, I might take a break. Like I might be done for a while. And my dad was like, whoa, you take a break? You love wrestling? And I was like, yeah. I think if they don't fix this on Monday night, I might be done for a while with WWE at least. And then they fixed it because at the time, you can see Vince being like, we're doing this for the kids. We're going to finish this storyline for the kids. Roman got the win. If you were a kid, you were happy. If you were an adult, which there happened to be a lot of adults in the crowd, you were pissed off. And then on Monday, they kind of reconciled, which we'll get into a little bit. But if that was the company finishing that and ending that, and now Roman changes, I'm okay. But if we keep getting the babyface Roman, where he's the Mr. Cena 2.0, that was bad. That whole match just sucked in general, and it was devastating. It was devastating as a fan. The main event should never be that deflated.
Yep. If I could just quickly transition into Raw, then, unless you had something else, Matt.
No, I was just about to move to Raw.
I have a question for both of you. If I put my glasses on really quick, so the glasses are on. So why? And answer me this question. This is really all I have to say about Raw, because I can let Jim talk, and I know he's got a lot of good thoughts on it. Why do we have to wait for all of our great payoffs the night after WrestleMania? Is it just ignorance? Is it just kind of what you said, like we're not gonna go off script. We're going down with the ship because the Wyatts got.
Oh, go ahead.
The Wyatts got their payoff. AJ Styles got his payoff. And there was just multiple instances of, like, Enzo and Cass finally debuted, which could have happened earlier. Like, multiple instances of finally, like it was almost like Vince saying, like, I'm really sorry, guys. I was ignorant. I'm gonna give you back a little bit of what you want. Like, why do we have to wait until the Raw after? Why not on WrestleMania? That's my question.
I think I know why. It's because WrestleMania is not for us. It's for the casual fans who only watch once a year, and they have to show off their big baby faces and have them win, and they have to show the old stars that people remember. And then the Raw after Mania is for the smarks who happen to be in town, and they can all be at the same Raw. Because the casual fans, even if they bought tickets to WrestleMania, they're not buying tickets to Raw the next day. That's a good point.
I agree with you, Matt, and I think that they've learned a lesson over the past 2 years, or 3 years, and I think that in the past, like, they do dictate WrestleMania towards the kids, but I bet you they won't ever dictate the main event in this fashion again, because I think when people go back in the history books and watch that happen, and the response that main event got might be enough to garner a change to where, like, if something's not working, they have to call the audible earlier, because that was just brutal. But to Charlie's point, there's one thing that makes me nervous, and I don't know if that was just like a one-time rub, because I'm going to get something off my chest. At the beginning of the show, what really upset me the most, more than anything else, the episode was awesome, but at the beginning of the show, I don't know if either of you saw it, the show opens up with a segment to the commentary desk, and JBL says, all right, just so you out there know, the Raw after WrestleMania has a tradition of being, whoa, crazy. These fans are so crazy that they boo the guys they like, and they cheer the guys they hate. This is such a crazy crowd. Oh, my goodness, these fans don't make any sense. They're just having fun. They're goofy. And then Vince came out and called them crazy, too. And I don't know if they did all of that stuff as a one-shot time, because they knew if they did anything else, it was going to get pooped on, and they couldn't afford to have 2 nights in a row of pooped on. So the next Raw is going to dictate a lot of stuff for me, because Raw was so good. But what if it was just a one-shot because they were scared of that crowd? Or maybe we get more of the same, and it does make a change. And like Charlie, it is kind of for us, because all those storylines come to a close, and then it's finally time for 8 new storylines to blossom, because 8 storylines close on Sunday, and now 8 new storylines get to open, and it's a payoff for the fans that are interested in stories and how they manage guys more than anything else.
Yeah, it was just. I think it was just frustrating that, and even Shane got to supposedly run Raw. Like he got his payoff that everyone wanted to see the night after. It's just frustrating why, at the culmination, why why we're left hanging with blue balls in some of these storylines, and we have to wait till the Raw after to kind of get that feeling of fan satisfaction. So I think that's just frustrating that it happens the night after instead of on the biggest stage in the world.
I agree. Like you got the opportunity for such an iconic moment, and they pass it.
Mm-hmm.
However, it also I didn't like how it didn't make sense. Like if Shane wins Hell in a Cell at Mania, he runs Raw, and the Authority would be gone. And he lost that match. He ran Monday's Raw, and the Authority wasn't there. And it's like so counterintuitive of what they were trying to portray. Like I get it. Like Vince was like, all right, you proved my respect. You're going to get to run this show, Shane. But it was like so counterproductive to everything they developed over the past 2 months. And I part of me thinks they were just scared of the crowd's response.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they were trying to to your point, like it was going to be another Royal Rumble 2015 hashtag cancel WWE Network trending on Twitter. Let's try to stop the bleeding here, and let's slide a few potato chip crumbs under the door and kind of feed this beast we've created a little bit to keep us from lashing out.
Yeah, look at all this hope. Look at the three of us are sitting here. Like I could talk for another hour. I'm not going. I know, Matt, we're not going to, but I could talk about this Raw. I could talk about this Raw for another hour because it was so good, and that's the addicting part. On Sunday night, I was so pissed that I said I'm not buying a ticket to Payback. I'm not going to watch WWE. And on Monday night, I bought a ticket to Payback, and now I can't wait to watch Raw. Fuck me.
God damn it, that's so perfect. Fuck.
They just sucked you back in.
They sucked me back in one night.
Mm-hmm.
Those bastards.
Why?
They know what they're doing.
They know.
All right, let's talk about some of the stuff that happened on this Raw because it was amazing.
Yes.
You guys can go. I'll let you talk.
I don't have a ton to say except that it was great. I was happy to see Apollo. I was happy to see AJ win that Fatal 4-Way, even though I wanted Cesaro to win. Happy to see Cesaro back.
Yeah.
The only thing I was disappointed in was The Miz beating Zack Ryder, but Zack Ryder's getting a rematch on Thursday, or today technically.
Oh, okay.
I really loved everything they did. The crowd had the feel of an NXT arena.
Yeah.
And it felt awesome. I think them debuting the three new guys, Enzo Cass, Apollo, and then Corbin getting his first match, those were all handled well. Corbin looked like a good heel against Ziggler. Enzo and Cass looked like the funniest two, most interesting new tag team I've ever seen. And then Cruz showed his athleticism, and he's got that smile, and he's got the muscles, and you're like, whoa, this guy could be this guy's a stud, man. And that they handled the three of those guys perfectly. Putting, like I said earlier, putting Zayn and Owens and AJ in the title hunt was like, oh my, is this real life? This is what we want, and that was amazing. And then having the girls come out, and then having Charlotte shouldn't have cut kayfabe because it ruined her character. I think Stephanie should have presented that. Someone else should have presented the belt because Charlotte tried to have that moment and she cut kayfabe, and the fans when she tried to cut kayfabe, the fans were being rude because she's a heel, and then they were chanting Bailey, and then when she attempted to go back to being heel, they started chanting women's wrestling, and then she cut character again and was like, yeah, guys, that's all of us, and then she looked really flustered and then went back to her character of I did it myself. So Charlotte kind of got exposed by the fans. Like, she didn't know what to do, and she looked really flustered.
Good point.
And that could have been a really good promo.
Yeah. I think she should have stuck with the heel. She should have went out there and let somebody else talk about how the women have changed things, and then grabbed the mic and been like, let's be real, it's all because of me and my father, Ric Flair. It's not because of any of you. And that would have been great. The crowd would have ate it up. But
yeah, that's true.
She shouldn't have been the one to quarterback the whole let's clap for the women thing.
Good call.
Yeah. Enzo and Kaz were amazing. Roasted the shit out of the Dudley boys. Might as well call them the Dusty Boys.
Dusty Boys. The Dusty Boys did a great job of selling how pissed they were. They did awesome.
Yeah,
So,
they did. I mean, you could tell they've been doing it for 15 plus years. Like, yes.
It was great. Enzo is amazing on the mic. Like, seriously, he's like the new Rock. Like, I've not seen someone as good on the mic as him.
Skywalker. And I'll smack anybody with a mic saber. Oh, he's so
hard. It's hard, like, talking in public and remembering all those lines. And, like I do stand-up comedy. It's not easy. I forget my jokes all the time. And he remembered all that. It's impressive. And, like, you see professional wrestlers mess up on the mic constantly. This is his first time on Raw, and he didn't mess up once. Like, that's a huge deal.
And what's a slop jalop? He called someone a slop jalop. That's great.
I know a jalopy is like an old car. I think, but I don't know. He's saying some crazy things.
He said Big Cass will drop you like a deuce. Like that's amazing. Overall, incredible. That was incredible. And if WWE, not just because of the debuts, if they book these guys the right way and they push the young talent while sprinkling in the older guys, just like they did, they sprinkled in Jericho with the younger talent. It worked. You gotta sprinkle. You gotta mix match. If they book Raws like that, you guys, there's a shot that I'm not kidding. There's a shot that the Payback in Chicago, the main event could be AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. A sub-main event could be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. There could be the Enzo and Cass first pay-per-view match versus the Dudleys. There's a Miz versus Ryder Intercontinental match. There's a shot that League of Nations wrestles the Wyatts. Like, that pay-per-view in Chicago sounds better than WrestleMania.
Yes.
That card sounds better than WrestleMania. It does.
Yeah.
And I'm not going. Sad face.
I'm so sad for you.
It's just... So, anyways, though, it was a culmination of everything that I want as the fan that I am. Hopefully they keep it up. What do you guys have to say?
I don't think they're going to keep it up, to be honest. But I hope they do.
Please, Vince.
Please give Hunter control.
I'm okay with them. I'm okay with them slowing it down. They don't have to do everything that fast.
Yeah,
they can build guys up slowly.
Yeah.
They can do more things. Like that was such a fast-paced night. As our guys are getting the opportunities they deserve, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm happy with it. And I know you guys don't always like when I talk about the dirt sheet stuff, but from what I've heard is like the plans for Tyler Breeze is to just be a jobber. They don't see him in the which is a shame, but it's the truth. I think we have to live with. I think I've heard so they don't. I've heard they don't see him as like a mainstay kind of guy. I've heard there's outs that I've heard for sure when Seth comes back, he's going to be a face, and I think that Roman will hold on to time than we think. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised about Tyler, but it's sad.
It's sad.
Him.
Yeah.
Think of how good a match him and Seth Rollins could put on.
Or just, like, imagine when Seth comes back, like, look at the landscape. It's totally different than when he left, and so much cool shit could happen. Do you think there's that? And, I forgot my favorite thing. my favorite thing is that they finally booked Roman the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't cut a kiddie promo, and they didn't turn him heel. He just went out there and said, "Boo me if you want to boo me, cheer me if you want to cheer me. I want to win," and that's how it should always have been.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make him John Cena. Just make him want to win, and that's cool.
He's like, "You're stuck with me. You're stuck with me." So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a guy who wants the belt. Exactly. I'm the guy who wants the belt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anything else?
I would just like to say in a closing statement, when Payback comes around, I think there's two ways you can watch this product. There is the way with the smart glasses on like this, and there is the way without it, and just kind of sitting back, not having an alternate agenda, and or a way that you want it to play out, and just taking it all in. I'm going to because in the past I've tried to make picks and do things like that. For Payback, I'm not going to make any sort of predictions, picks, anything. I'm just going to sit as a fan, and I'm going to see how I feel after it. Because I felt like at WrestleMania I had a lot of things that I wanted to see happen. They didn't, and I felt frustrated.
That's a big step for Charlie.
I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna try it out, and let's just see. I'll see how I feel after Payback. But I'm just gonna try to throw all alternate agendas out the window. To be fair, you can watch the product any way you want it. I don't think one way is right and one way is wrong. But all I'm saying is that I'm testing the other side.
I think I'm gonna join you with that. Because that's what made me like it. Is when I first started watching it again. I didn't know anything, so I didn't make any picks or predictions. I just watched it and enjoyed the matches. So
yeah,
I'll go back to that with you, and we'll see how we.
I mean, it's hard for me because I kind of live on the other side. Like you said, I'm a smart ass.
And that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not.
No,
bad.
but hold on. I'm about to pat you on the back because, like I said, when the matches that I thoroughly enjoy. Like the women's match, like when Sasha lost and I was really sad. A part of that's not just because I wanted to win because of my smart favoritism towards her. A part of that is because I love her character. And I know you guys think that a lot of what drives me is what I think is right, but at the same time, that the passion of me thinking what's right comes from because I really enjoy the characters they've created. And when I fall in love with the characters that they've created, I think it's natural human instinct to want to see the best out of what you think is good. And my natural instinct is to be like, wow, they've done some amazing things. I just want to see these amazing things get the recognition they deserve. It's kind of like the little brother syndrome. Look at these young dudes and look at the young women and look what they can do. Let's get the recognition. And I don't want to ruin it for you guys. I feel like ever since you've met me, I've ruined it a little bit. No. But just I just watch it in a sense that I love to be a mark sometimes, and I mark out when great things happen, and that feeling's awesome. So like you said, enjoy the product for what it is. The silver lining, I think, is from Raw, with this year's storylines closing out, look at all the potential that we do have. And even if it takes a while to get there, there's a shot that Bayley wrestles Sasha Banks at next year's WrestleMania, or Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns are in a triple threat, or AJ Styles wrestles Kevin Owens, or just all of these amazing things can take place, and we have so much great place to go, and that's why it's addicting. And like you said, Charlie, it's easy to get bogged down in what doesn't happen. So I do need to take a step back and just let the wrestling be the wrestling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you've ruined it. I think that's a little harsh. You have not ruined it for me. I'm just gonna try to maybe just avoid the inevitable smarky disappointment and just try to look at it at a different angle. So I think I really appreciate what you just said. I think that was a great closer. But I wouldn't say you've ruined it for us by any means. So don't beat yourself up about that if you think that.
All right, guys. That's it for this week, I guess.
I want to close out. I want to close out with can we just rock out to this for a second? Hold on.
Okay.
Oh.
How do we do the point? There we go. All right. Thanks for listening / watching. Lay the mat down. We'll see you hopefully in a week or so. All right. Bye.